When you're discarded by the narcissist, it's usually only a matter of time before they come back into your life or try to. Whether they hoover you, heat check you, through their flying monkeys, try to see what's going on in your life, they usually do make their way back at some point. And if you were discarded by the narcissist, chances are that something would have happened for them to have seen you as no longer being of such high value as they would have initially thought. And also, chances are that they would have reached the conclusion that the quality of the supply that you were providing towards them would have decreased over time, such that they no longer deemed you worthy of their time. When you would have initially met the narcissist, and they would have been paying a lot of attention to you, they would have been excited by the concept of you being somebody new, different from their previous supplies, and maybe they thought that you could have filled that empty void that they feel. They would have love bombed you, idealized you, and they would have enjoyed that process. They really enjoyed the thrill of the chase of getting you to fall for them. But once you would have been ensnared, once they would have seen that you became committed towards them, loyal towards them, that you would have fallen for them, then they no longer have that thrill of the chase. So they no longer get that supply, that ego boost from getting you to fall for them. And on top of that, if you would have been around the narcissist for some time, once the devaluation stage would have kicked in, then chances are that your energetic, high flying, optimistic, just creative self would have slowly died down. You would have lost your creative edge. You would have lost your energetic edge. You would have lost your positive outlook on life. All of that would have been dampened over time throughout the devaluation process. And as you enter this new arena where you have this more somber existence, this more gloomy existence, then you no longer supply the narcissist as well as you would have before. So it's these combinations of factors that cause the narcissist to decide that they no longer want you anymore, which means they either discard you or they devalue you to such an extent that you discard them and you just go your own way. But what usually happens over time, um, and this especially if the target educates themselves on what happened, on narcissism and things like that, is that the target, they start to recover, they start to feel better about themselves, they no longer need the narcissist, they start going out and achieving things, and the narcissist can feel. Of course, they can check up on you on social media through flying monkeys. They might bump into you face to face sometimes. Of course, there are these kind of physical ways that they can check up on you to see how you're doing, but they're very intuitive as well into what's going on in your life and how you're feeling. And when A, they see that you're going out and achieving things, B, you're happy without them, you no longer need them, and maybe you've stopped chasing them, because it could be the case that you were chasing them to come back, maybe provide some explanation, and it could be the case that you stopped chasing them, and also you're just feeling good about yourself. You're going out, you're carrying your head held high, you're just happy. All these things cause the narcissist to look at you and think of you as being somebody of higher value again, and someone who has a higher potential supply and offer again. So it's these drivers that cause the narcissist to want to make a reappearance in your life. And the thing is, most people do recover from narcissistic abuse at some point, and most people do start feeling better. And narcissists, like I said, they do have ways of finding out about that, even if it's just intuition. But they know, that they'll see it, they'll find out, they'll sense it, some combination of the above. And once that happens, they all of a sudden they become very restless, they become very frustrated. They feel that the supply that you carry within yourselves, the qualities that you now carry within yourselves, they want a piece of that action. So that's where they start, wanting to make a reappearance back in your life. They may hoover you, they may bump into you sporadically. if they know, which coffee shops you go to, which restaurants you go to. They may drop you some messages, you know, making some comments about some good times you could have had, whether it be on a vacation, some type of event where you both had a good time together. They might pull at those heartstrings, bringing up those memories. They'll do something to want to make a reappearance back in your life. And of course, they're only doing that because they see you as being someone of higher value than them, and B, you've got what they see to be good supply on offer again. And of course, if you know what you've been dealing with, and if you've been through the cycles a few times, obviously you shouldn't take the bait. Sometimes you need to take the bait a few times to fully realize the severity of the situation, which is dealing with a narcissist, being entangled with a narcissist. Sometimes you have to go through that cycle a few times until you realize, you know what, I won't fall for this again. So hopefully you're at that point where you won't fall for it if that happens to you again. If you haven't, hopefully you've educated yourself enough so such that you won't fall for it. But if you do, hopefully if you do entertain them, if you do entertain the Hoover, you'll quickly realize that you have nothing to gain and you'll pop back out. But the bottom line is, narcissists discard you or they push you away when they see you have nothing left to offer them of value and they consider that you're somebody of low value. But as soon as you're going out doing your thing, as soon as they realize you don't need them anymore, they don't like that. And they get triggered, they get frustrated, they get restless, and they almost obsess over this idea, which is that they need to find a way back into your life. And you soon realize through, whether it's flying monkeys asking you weird questions or just text messages coming in from them, or maybe coincidentally bumping into them, in your day-to-day. If you have these encounters with a narcissist, they're trying to hoover you. They're trying to work their way back in. And of course, all I can suggest is just keep working on yourself, keep doing your thing, and just, keep them out of your life. Don't give them the space to come back in, because they only want to come into your life to take you down again. They have nothing of value to offer you. The only thing of value that they can offer you is for you to come to the realization, which is you don't want them in your life anymore. So that's what that should be your takeaway.